Hey, everybody, and welcome back for another deep dive. You know, those big decisions that can really keep you up at night. Well, today we're going to unpack some really solid advice on just that.
Yeah.
We're looking at how to make a big decision. 7 tips from Psych Central.
Oh, good stuff.
Yeah. So hopefully by the end of this, you'll have some new tools to tackle those big choices with a little more confidence and a lot less stress.
You know, it's funny how even little decisions can feel like huge hurdles sometimes.
Oh, totally. It's like
Yeah.
picking what to have for dinner some nights. I'm like overwhelmed.
Right.
So yeah, this article starts by acknowledging that these decisions can be tough,
Mm-hmm.
but then it dives right into some practical advice. The first tip that really jumped out at me was all about asking yourself the right questions.
Oh, that's huge.
Yeah, it's not about second-guessing yourself, but rather setting yourself up for success from the get-go.
I love that. And it's about getting clear on what you truly want and what matters most to you. So instead of asking yourself, should I move to a new city? Try asking, what are my must-haves in a city and which options best fit those? That way you're framing your decision in a way that helps uncover your true priorities.
Oh, that's such a good point. So it's like setting your internal GPS before you even start the journey.
Exactly. And the article also suggests considering how your decision will impact the people around you.
Ah, yeah, that's important.
Like, let's say you're thinking about switching careers.
Okay.
How will this affect your family, your partner, or even your close friends?
Yeah.
Considering those impacts can give you a more holistic view of your decision.
Yeah, you can get so caught up in your own head, it's easy to forget about the ripple effects.
Exactly.
All right, so tip number 2. This one is all about making time for quiet reflection.
Oh, that's so crucial.
This is something I personally struggle with. I'm
Yeah.
always go, 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 go. But the article emphasizes the need to create space for those aha moments.
It's about escaping the everyday noise, even if it's just for a few minutes each day. You can meditate, go for a walk in nature, or just sit in silence and focus on your breath.
Right.
The key is to quiet your mind and allow yourself to truly process your thoughts and feelings about the decision.
So instead of frantically scrolling through apartment listings online, if I'm thinking about moving, maybe I should take a walk in that neighborhood and really soak in the atmosphere.
Exactly. Pay attention to your senses.
Yeah.
What do you see, hear, or smell? How does it make you feel? Those visceral experiences can offer valuable insights that you might miss when your mind is overloaded.
I love that. Soaking it all in. Now, for a classic tip that never gets old, writing down a list of pros and cons.
Ah, the good old list.
Yeah.
It seems simple, but it can be incredibly powerful. However, the article emphasizes that it's not just about the quantity of pros and cons,
Okay.
but their weight.
Weight. What do you mean by that?
It's about acknowledging that not all pros and cons are created equal.
Oh, that makes sense.
Imagine you're trying to decide between 2 job offers. One offer might have a slightly higher salary, that's a pro, but the other offers more flexibility and better work-life balance. Depending on your priorities, the flexibility and work-life balance might carry more weight,
Oh, I see.
even if the salary's a bit lower.
So it's about aligning those pros and cons with your personal values and goals, not just blindly following the longest list.
Exactly. It's about digging deeper and understanding what truly matters to you.
I like that. All right, next up, a tip that might feel a bit counterintuitive at first. Get used to the idea of failure.
Ooh, that's a tough one.
Yeah, especially when we're talking about major life decisions.
Yeah.
The article frames this as radical acceptance, which sounds a bit intense.
It might sound intimidating, but it's actually about letting go of the pressure to make the perfect choice.
Okay.
It's about accepting that things might not always go as planned, but we can still learn and grow from those experiences.
So instead of being paralyzed by the fear of making the wrong choice, we shift our perspective to see potential setbacks as valuable lessons. Like sometimes you win, sometimes you learn.
Exactly. Think about it. Let's say you decide to start your own business. Even if it doesn't become the next big thing, you've gained invaluable experience, resilience, and a clearer understanding of what you want and don't want in your career.
It takes the pressure off having to be perfect and turns it into an opportunity for growth no matter what happens.
Absolutely.
Okay, so this next tip is all about setting boundaries for our decision-making process. Giving yourself a deadline.
Oh, deadlines can be so helpful.
Right. I can already hear some people saying, wait, what? But setting a deadline prevents you from getting stuck in an endless cycle of overthinking and procrastination. It forces you to take action.
Exactly. Like, let's say you're debating whether or not to go back to school for that master's degree.
Okay.
Setting a firm deadline for your application helps you focus your research and make a decision before the opportunity passes you by.
It's about creating a sense of urgency and taking control of the timeline. instead of letting the decision drag on indefinitely.
Yes.
That actually feels quite empowering.
It is. It's about being proactive and taking charge of your decision-making journey.
I like that.
Yeah.
And this leads us to a tip that I personally resonate with.
Right.
Asking for support. Having a trusted network to bounce ideas off of can be so valuable.
Absolutely. But the article emphasizes that it's about seeking diverse perspectives, not directives.
Right.
It's not about having someone tell you what to do, but rather getting different viewpoints to help you see the situation from various angles.
So, for example, if I'm considering a career change, I could talk to people in different fields to get a broader understanding of what's out there. But ultimately, the final decision is still mine.
Exactly. You're gathering information and insights to inform your decision, but you're not outsourcing the decision-making process itself. You're still in the driver's seat.
That's a really important distinction.
Yeah.
All right, now I'm excited to talk about this next tip because it might surprise some people. Trusting your gut.
Ah, the intuition.
Yeah. The article makes a strong case for the importance of intuition. It explains that those gut feelings are actually informed by our past experiences, values, and emotions.
Right. It's not just some mystical force, but rather our subconscious processing information and sending us signals.
So have you ever had like a strong gut feeling about someone or something and it turned out to be right?
All the time.
Yeah, me too. It's like, whoa.
That's your intuition at work.
It's pretty amazing when you think about it. Like, I remember this one time.
It can be really powerful. Like when you meet someone new and instantly you kind of get a good or bad vibe.
Oh, yeah.
Turns out those instincts are often spot on.
Yeah. I've learned to trust those gut feelings more and more. They're usually trying to tell us something important. The article also mentions how our gut feelings are tied to our mental health. It's like this two-way street. Making good decisions can boost our confidence and self-esteem.
That's so true.
Yeah.
When we trust ourselves to make those choices and we see good things happen because of it, it reinforces this feeling that we can handle things. We kind of build up this positive feedback loop where confidence leads to even better decisions, which leads to even more confidence. It's pretty cool.
It's amazing how everything's connected. It makes you think twice about ignoring those gut feelings.
Definitely.
So how can we get better at tapping into that inner wisdom?
Well, the article mentions a few different techniques. One that stood out to me is the SOP technique.
STOP.
Yeah, it's a simple acronym, STOP.
Okay.
It stands for Stop, Take a Breath, Observe, and Proceed.
I like that.
It's really easy to remember.
Yeah.
So imagine you're facing a tough decision and your mind is racing with all these thoughts and anxieties.
Yeah.
Instead of getting swept away by all that mental chaos, you hit pause. You stop what you're doing, take a deep breath to center yourself, and just observe what's going on in your mind and body without judgment. And then you proceed with the decision-making process.
So it's like giving your intuition a chance to catch up and say what it needs to say.
Exactly. You're shifting from reacting to everything to a more mindful and intentional approach. And as we get more comfortable making decisions, we start to trust ourselves more.
Makes the whole thing feel less scary, right?
Definitely.
It's not about knowing all the right answers. It's about believing we can figure things out as we go.
I love that. And the article highlights this too. There's no single right way to make a decision. It's about finding what works for you, honoring your values, and trusting that you can handle whatever comes up.
This is so true. I used to spend so much time trying to find the perfect solution, and it just led to more anxiety.
Oh yeah, I've been there.
Second-guessing everything.
But this article really reframes decision-making as a journey of self-discovery. It's not about the destination. It's about learning and evolving along the way.
It takes the pressure off having to be perfect.
Yeah.
And reminds us that we're always learning no matter what choices we make.
And it makes the process so much more enjoyable.
Yeah.
But the article also acknowledges that for some people, decision-making can be even harder, certain situations.
Right. It mentions that living with a mental health condition, for example, can make it even tougher to navigate these complex decisions.
Yeah, it's important to remember that we're not all starting from the same place, and some of us might need a little extra help in this area.
Definitely. And there's nothing wrong with asking for that help. Therapy, coaching, or even just talking to a trusted friend or mentor can make a huge difference.
Exactly.
The article really encourages people to reach out and find that support. It's all about creating a supportive environment for ourselves to make the best choices for our overall well-being.
It reminds me of the importance of being kind to ourselves, especially when we're facing these tough choices. Recognizing our limits and seeking support when we need it.
Absolutely. So as we wrap up this part of our deep dive, I'm curious to hear your overall thoughts on these 7 tips. What's really resonated with you?
Honestly, what strikes me is how practical and insightful this article is. It gives us these concrete tools like asking the right questions or setting deadlines, But it also encourages us to really look inward and, understand ourselves and how we make decisions a bit better.
Yeah, it's like it's giving us permission to take a step back and say, okay, what really matters to me?
Mm.
And to trust that inner voice,
Yeah.
even when logic seems to be pulling us in a different direction.
Right. And it reminds us that even if things don't go exactly as planned, we can still learn something valuable from every decision.
There's that growth mindset again. It's not about being perfect. It's about learning and adapting no matter what.
And that can be so freeing, It takes the pressure off.
Yeah, big time. It also makes the whole decision-making thing feel less intimidating,
For sure.
knowing that we can handle the outcome even if it's not what we expected.
It's all about building that confidence, both in ourselves and in our ability to handle whatever comes our way.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into how to make a big decision, 7 tips, I want to leave our listeners with something to think about. We've talked a lot about the power of intuition. So how can we all get better at tuning into those gut feelings when we're facing tough choices?
That is such a good question. It's like a challenge to ourselves to keep exploring and growing and learning how to tap into that inner wisdom.
Absolutely. And for those who want to dive even deeper, the article mentions some great resources, like Brené Brown's work on vulnerability and courage, and Edward de Bono's 6 thinking hats technique for creative problem solving.
Oh, those are fantastic resources. Really great places to start for anyone who wants to level up their decision-making skills.
Well, folks, that brings us to the end of another deep dive. We hope you found this exploration helpful and insightful. Remember, you have the power to make decisions that align with your values and dreams. Trust yourself, embrace the journey, and never stop learning.
Until next time, keep diving deep and making those big decisions with clarity, courage, and a whole lot of self-compassion.